This is a Talk2Jack podcast with UnkuJack, exploring topics on heart, mind, soul, and the human experience. Let's talk. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Talk2Jack podcast. I was recording this podcast just a moment ago for about 5 minutes and realized that I had forgotten to hit record on the device. So I'm doing it all over again and only hoping that I will capture the essence and the spirit of what it was that I was talking about, because I promise you it was good. It was so good. But you know what? I'm making a choice to do it all over again, because today what I am talking about is choices and the weight that we put on those choices. I had for a moment considered just not doing it, just going to another thing, doing something else today, because I was frustrated about the fact that I had spent all this time and effort recording this segment and I had forgotten to hit record. I'd made a mistake. And it hurts because it was good. Trust me, it was really good. And so now I'm faced with the decision to continue or to let it go and do something else. And I've chosen to do it. Why? Because I think it's important enough that I cover this topic. And coincidentally, what I'm talking about right now is that topic, is about choice and the weight that we put on choices. From the moment we wake up every day, we make hundreds and thousands of choices every day. I've said this in a recent podcast, that we make choices every day about the things that we should do or should not do, about the things that are important or not important. And sometimes those choices that we make, those choices that we choose to make, affect us in different ways. Sometimes we get to a point where it's difficult to eat, it's difficult to sleep, it's difficult to concentrate, our relationships suffer, our friendships suffer, our work suffers, simply because in this moment we feel like there's this choice that we need to make. And because we have to make this choice, this decision, this thing that we have to decide to do, we sacrifice all these other things that come naturally to us. And the question that I started to ask myself is why? Why do some things carry so much more weight in our decision-making matrix, in our heads, than other things? Why is it that certain things feel more important, they feel heavier, they feel weightier, they feel like they're so much more important that other things can suffer? Why is it so hard to decide to date that person? Why is it so hard to decide to do that job? Why is it so hard to apply for that role? Why is it so hard to walk away from that situation? Why is it so hard to do that, to perform that task? Why is the decision so hard? Why is it harder than, I don't know, breathing? Which is something that we do every day without thinking about it. Your body just breathes. Guess what? If you suffer from obstructive sleep apnea, like I did for a point in my life, your body will shut down and not breathe at some point at night, and your body will also wake itself up to breathe, and so you wake up to breathe. And so the breathing part that we don't think about, it's natural, it's normal, but it can also be difficult if our subconscious and our bodies are not automatically making those choices for us to do that, if we weren't subconsciously making those choices to breathe. So the question is, why is it that we will get to a point that we have to make decisions about things like breathing and eating and all of that stuff that is natural and naturally important to us? And yet when we have to make these difficult decisions, all of a sudden we put so much weight on those choices, so much of a burden on those choices, that it becomes hard to do normal everyday things. I don't have the answer to that. I can say that the why, is maybe personal to you, to me, to the situation. But I can say that the what is that we've placed so much importance on those things. We have placed importance on them. We have chosen to say that those things are important, that those things are meaningful, those things carry weight. And because we've chosen to do so, we have chosen to carry the burden of that weight. The beautiful thing about life is that if you've made a choice to carry on the weight, then you can also choose to discard all or some of that weight. If you're in doubt about whether or not something should be done, whether or not a decision needs to be made, a particular decision to be made, remove the pressure. The power of that pressure is in your hands. What's the worst that would happen? That is also in your hands. Take a load off. Don't make yourself so bogged down with the pressure of these choices that you freeze yourself in place, or you start to affect your normal patterns of behavior because you're so anxious and you're so bogged down with the pressure that you have placed on yourself, with the burden that you have placed on yourself. It's a conscious choice that you're making, just like hundreds and thousands of other choices that are also important that you make every day without even thinking about it. So just reduce the pressure just a little bit. Just lighten the burden a little bit. What's the worst that would happen? What's the worst that would happen? It's a little heavy, I know, but we make it heavy. We did that. It wasn't just forced on you. You make those decisions. The things that you put importance, you place as important, will affect the way you choose to view them, the way you choose to view the choices around them, and how you choose to react to them when you have to make those choices. But it's still you, and you're still in control. And that's what I want to remind you about today, that you're still in control. Anyway, that's my thought for today. I hope you found that inspiring. Please like, share, and subscribe these videos and all the social media links. And as always, be inspired. This has been the Talk2Jack podcast with UnkuJack. Tune in next time for another episode.